Do you ever look at the sunrise and feel grateful for another day? After 70 each year, each day is so precious. We've lived a lifetime and every moment feels like a gift. That's why making a big change like moving into a nursing home is such an emotional decision. It's not just about logistics or care, it's about life. Before we dive in, let me start with a question. Have you ever felt unsure about leaving the home you love? Or worried what might happen if you do? You're not alone, and today I want to speak to that concern with kindness, honesty, and a little hard-won wisdom. Every elder's situation is unique, but there are some truths I wish someone had told me before I agreed to go to a nursing home. I learned them the hard way, and I regret not knowing sooner. In fact, a survey found 89% of seniors want to keep living in their own homes as they age. Many fear moving to a nursing home even more than death itself. DarylCastle.com. That's a startling thought, isn't it? It shows just how deeply we value our freedom and familiar surroundings. I'm 82 years old, and I thought I was making the safe, smart choice when I moved into a nursing facility. My family meant well. They encouraged me, saying I'd get all the care and comfort I'd need. At first, it sounded reassuring. But once I got there, reality was different from what I imagined. Today, I'm going to share 6 things you should know before you or a loved one decide to enter a nursing home. These insights come from my heart and the stories of other seniors like me. Some of them might surprise you, some might even save you or your family from heartbreak. So please stay with me till the end, because every senior and every family should be aware of these points before making such a life-changing decision. Let's get started with the first and perhaps biggest lesson. 1. The loss of independence. The first thing I wish I'd understood was how much independence I would lose. Remember that feeling of getting up whenever you want, brewing your morning coffee just the way you like, or taking a stroll in your garden at sunset? For decades, those little choices were mine. For Nancy, 79, it was being able to cook her favorite oatmeal each morning and decide when to water her plants. But when Nancy moved into a nursing home, those simple freedoms started slipping away. She woke up to nurses coming in at a set time. Breakfast was served on their schedule, not when she felt hungry. And her beloved morning routine? It had to fit into the facility's timetable. In my own case, the biggest shock after moving in was realizing I could no longer structure my day. The nursing home had its rules. Fixed times for waking up, meals at 8 a.m., 12 p.m., 5 p.m. sharp, medication on the dot. It was done with good intentions. They have to care for many people, but I suddenly felt like a passenger in my own life. I remember one morning I wanted to sleep in just a bit. Instead, a staff member cheerfully, but firmly, swung open the curtains at 7 a.m. to get me ready for the day. I know they meant well, but I felt a pang of loss. My days were no longer truly mine. Losing independence isn't just about big things like driving or managing finances. It's the million little daily choices we take for granted. Imagine not even choosing when to have a cup of tea. It can be emotionally challenging. We all treasure our autonomy, and research shows keeping that autonomy is key to happiness in old age. DarylCastle.com. When it's suddenly curtailed, it can lead to frustration or even depression. Nancy told me she started feeling like a child again, always being told what to do, and it quietly broke her spirit. Why this matters? Independence is tied to our dignity and self-worth. When you move into a nursing home, no matter how nice the place is, you have to surrender some control. For some of us, that loss was the hardest part. If you're considering a nursing facility, know that your routines will change. Try to find out how much choice residents have in daily activities. Are you allowed to decide your wake-up time or choose your meals? Places that offer flexibility can make a big difference. I wish I had asked these questions. Because once I moved in, I learned that living by someone else's clock day in and day out was a bigger sacrifice than I ever expected. Gentle reminder, cherish your independence while you have it. If you do move, look for small ways to keep control. Maybe decorating your room your way or scheduling an afternoon quiet time for yourself. It's those little things that keep you you. 2. Feeling forgotten by loved ones. The second thing to know is how lonely it can feel, even in a place full of people. One of the hardest truths I discovered is the feeling of being forgotten. When Tom, 85, moved into his nursing home, He expected to be less lonely because he'd be around other seniors and staff. But he quickly realized that company isn't the same as connection. He had a small room to himself and dozens of neighbors up and down the hall, yet he felt more isolated than ever. Why? Because the people who mattered most, his family and old friends, seemed to fade away from his daily life. Tom would sit by the window every Sunday afternoon, hoping to see his son's car pull in for a visit. Some Sundays his son came. Many Sundays life got busy and no one showed up. He watched the leaves change color outside and wondered if people had forgotten about him. It's a heartbreaking thought, but it happens more than we wish. I felt it too. In the nursing home, days can blend together, and when your phone doesn't ring and no one walks through that door with a smile just for you, you start to feel invisible. The world outside keeps moving, grandchildren grow up, friends get busy, and you're no longer in the middle of it. You're on the sidelines. Loneliness in nursing homes is real. Nearly 40% of nursing home residents suffer from loneliness, and about 22% feel intense loneliness. Those are not just numbers. They represent thousands of seniors sitting alone in their rooms, wishing someone dear was there. Even staff coming in and out can't replace the comfort of family. Tom told me that hearing a kind nurse say, "How are you today?" is nice, but it's not the same as hearing it from his daughter or best friend. He said, "I just miss being important to someone. Out there someone needed me. In here, I'm just another patient on the list." That sentiment is shared by so many. Why this matters? Feeling forgotten isn't just an emotional ache, it can actually affect your health. Loneliness can lead to depression and worsen physical illness. In fact, families worry about this too. 89% of adult children fear their elderly loved ones will become sad or depressed in a nursing home. DarylCastle.com. When you lose that regular contact with loved ones, you lose a bit of the spark that keeps you going. If you're considering a nursing home, talk with your family and friends about staying connected. Make a plan for phone calls, video chats, or visits if possible. Sometimes loved ones don't realize how much those connections mean until they slip away. Encourage them to reach out often. Even a short call can brighten a day. And if you have a friend in a nursing home now, remember to call or visit when you can. It means the world. For those of us on the inside, a friendly voice on the line or a letter in the mail can remind us we're still loved and not forgotten. 3. Losing your sense of purpose. The third thing I regret not understanding is how easily you can lose your sense of purpose after moving into a nursing home. When we live in our own homes, we have roles and responsibilities that give our days meaning. Whether it's tending a garden, cooking dinner for family, volunteering at church, or even taking care of a pet. Alice, 78, was a retired schoolteacher who used to tutor neighborhood kids in math. She loved feeling useful. After she moved to a nursing facility, she found herself with endless free time but nothing meaningful to do. The kids weren't coming by for help with homework anymore. Her days became a monotonous routine of meals and TV in the common room. She confessed to me that without someone to help or something to take care of, she felt empty. "I'm just existing," she said quietly. "I don't feel needed anymore." I felt that loss of purpose too, and it crept up on me. At home I used to fix small things around the house. I was the family handyman. I'd wake up with a little mission, even if it was just raking the leaves or baking cookies for when the grandkids dropped by. In the nursing home, I woke up and, well, there was nothing I had to do except maybe attend a scheduled activity that I wasn't really interested in. The staff took care of my laundry, my meals, my medication. Ironically, that's what we think we want, to have everything done for us. But it left me with a question I'd never had to face before. What am I here for now? Losing a sense of purpose can be devastating. Having a purpose in life isn't just a nice bonus, it's actually linked to better health and longer life for seniors. MedicalNewsToday.com. When we feel useful, when we have goals, big or small, our minds and bodies stay more active and engaged. Conversely, when that purpose fades, it's easy to slip into depression or apathy. Alice told me she started sleeping more during the day just to pass the time. She said, "No one needs me to wake up, so why bother?" That broke my heart. Why this matters. A sense of purpose is like a lifeline. It might be as simple as caring for a potted plant or as grand as writing your memoirs. Without it, the days can blur and life can lose color. If you're planning a move to a nursing home, think ahead about how you'll keep your spark alive. Maybe you can continue a hobby, like knitting blankets for a local shelter or organizing a small book club with fellow residents. Some homes have volunteer programs or let you help in small ways, like folding towels or mentoring younger staff. It might sound silly, but trust me, feeling helpful and having a reason to get up in the morning, no matter how small, makes all the difference. I wish I had understood this. I would have brought my toolkit or my guitar or something to keep myself busy and useful. Don't let the move take away the things that give you meaning. You are never too old to have purpose. Sometimes we just have to get creative to find it in a new environment. 4. Your health may decline faster. This one is tough to talk about, but it's important. Moving into a nursing home can sometimes lead to a faster decline in health than you expect. I know it sounds strange. After all, nursing homes are supposed to take care of your health, right? And they do help with medical needs. But there are unintended effects of being in that environment. Bill, who was 80 when he moved in, was relatively healthy for his age. At home he used to take daily walks to the park and fixed himself small meals, keeping active. In the nursing home, with everything taken care of for him, Bill slowly became more sedentary. The walk to the park turned into just walking down the hallway with a walker. His balanced home-cooked meals became eating whatever was on the cafeteria tray. Within a year he felt weaker and had more aches and pains than before. "I feel like I've aged 5 years in one," he whispered to me once. Part of this isn't the nursing home's fault. Many of us move in because our health is starting to falter. But what people don't realize is that the institutional setting can accelerate certain declines. There's something known as use it or lose it. When you stop doing things for yourself, your body and mind can weaken from disuse. In a facility, you might walk less, since you're in a confined space, or using a wheelchair more often for safety. You might engage in fewer challenging mental activities. And yes, sometimes just the emotional strain of adjusting can affect your health. It's been observed that seniors in nursing homes often experience more rapid cognitive decline than those who remain in their own community. PubMed.ncbi.nlm.nih.gov. The reasons aren't fully clear, but it could be due to less stimulation or the stress of being in an unfamiliar environment. I noticed that after I moved in, I caught colds more frequently, likely because of the close quarters and many people around. I also wasn't sleeping as well with unfamiliar noises at night. My friend Jerry had a similar experience. He was managing his diabetes well at home, but in the nursing home his blood sugar got harder to control, possibly due to a less personalized diet and routine. These little health setbacks can add up. Why this matters? We all want to live not just longer but better. A nursing home can provide important medical care and safety, but it may also inadvertently encourage a more passive lifestyle. If you're considering a move, try to stay proactive about your health. Continue doing exercises or therapy, even if it's just simple chair exercises or stretches in your room. If you can, go outside for fresh air or walk the halls for circulation. Keep your mind active too. Maybe join a trivia game, do puzzles, or chat with others about the news. It's easy to slip into a sedentary routine in a nursing facility, so fighting that inertia is key. Also, don't be shy to speak up about your health needs. If the food isn't suiting your diet, talk to the staff or dietitian. If you feel depressed or unusually tired, let someone know. Sometimes it's mistaken as just old age when it could be helped. Your health is precious, and while a nursing home is there to help, you have to be your own advocate too. I regret not pushing myself to stay more active when I first moved in. I know now that every bit of movement, every engaged moment helps keep us healthier longer. 5. Loss of privacy and dignity. The fifth thing to know is that privacy and personal dignity take a hit in nursing home life. This one can be a bit uncomfortable to discuss, but it's something nearly everyone struggles with. Imagine going from the comfort of your own home, where your bedroom and bathroom are truly yours, to a place where someone might knock and enter at any time, where you might have a roommate separated only by a thin curtain, and where you need help with very personal tasks. That was a hard adjustment for me. Mary, 90, shared her experience. All her life she valued modesty and independence. She never imagined that one day a young nursing aide would be the one helping her shower or use the toilet. It made her feel embarrassed even though she knew the aide was a professional. "I just can't get used to it," she said. "It's like I've lost a bit of myself, my dignity, along with my privacy." In many nursing homes, space is limited. You might have a small room or even share that room. I remember the first time I had to share a room with a stranger, a lovely gentleman but still a stranger. I couldn't sleep that first night. I was hyper-aware of another person just a few feet away. Even when you have a private room, staff come in regularly to check on you or clean. Once, an aide came in while I was changing my clothes because I forgot to lock the door. In fact, in some facilities you can't lock your door for safety reasons. I felt exposed and upset, even though it was an innocent mistake. Also, personal boundaries inevitably change. Nurses and aides see you in states that you might have kept private before, like getting dressed or when you need help bathing. They try to be respectful and many do a wonderful job treating you with dignity. But it's not the same as being completely on your own. Mary told me one morning an aide called her "sweetie" and started feeding her breakfast without asking, thinking she was helping. Mary was perfectly capable of feeding herself and felt a little insulted, like she was being treated as a child. It's these small things that can chip away at your pride. Why this matters? We all deserve respect and dignity no matter our age or health. Nursing homes do have regulations to protect resident rights. You have the right to privacy and to be treated with respect. But the reality of communal living and caretaking means you won't have the same privacy you had at home. Knowing this in advance can help you prepare mentally. If you're considering a facility, visit it if you can. Look at the rooms. Will you have your own space or share? How do staff interact with residents? You might even talk to current residents about how they feel. And if you do move in, don't be afraid to gently assert your need for privacy. It can be as simple as saying, "Please knock before entering," or, "I'd like to try doing this myself. Could you give me a moment?" A good facility will honor those requests whenever possible. Also, bring a few comforts from home, a robe you like, your own bedspread, family photos. It helps create a sense of personal space and identity in a new place. Maintaining dignity is about holding on to who you are. You might be in a hospital gown at times, but you're still you, a whole person who has lived a rich life. Never forget that and don't let anyone treat you otherwise. 6. Harder to leave than you think. Finally, here's a lesson that really surprised me and others. Once you're in a nursing home, it can be much harder to leave than you'd expect. I don't just mean for a weekend visit. I mean moving out permanently. Many of us, myself included, went in thinking, if I don't like it, I can always go back home or find another solution. But it's not so simple. John, 81, moved into a nursing home after a bad fall, thinking it was a temporary stay while he recovered. He even kept the lease on his apartment for a while. But as months passed, two things happened. He got used to the round-the-clock help, which made him less confident about living alone, and the practical ties to his old life started unwinding. His apartment lease ended, and most of his belongings had been given away or sold. When John began feeling unhappy and wanted to leave the nursing home, he faced a dilemma. Where would he go? His home was gone, and getting a new place that's safe for an older adult takes planning, money, and support that he no longer had readily available. In my case, I sold my house to help finance my stay at the nursing facility. That's common. Many people use the proceeds from their home to pay for care. I thought if I ever want to leave, I'll use the remaining money to rent a place or live with family. But after a year, when I started feeling like I'd made a mistake, I realized leaving wasn't straightforward. My family's homes weren't equipped for my needs, and renting an apartment and hiring home caregivers felt overwhelming and costly. Plus, to be honest, my health had declined in some ways, as we discussed earlier, so I wasn't as independent as before. It was a classic catch-22. I wanted to leave to hopefully get better, but I wasn't better enough to leave easily. Nursing homes often become a one-way street. Not always. Some people do improve and transition out successfully, especially if they were there for short-term rehab. But for long-term residents, the statistics show most will stay for the remainder of their lives. It's a tough reality. One study found that once seniors enter long-term care, few return to living in the community independently. That's partly because you usually go in at a stage when living alone has become risky. What I'm saying is, Don't assume it's easy to try it out and then undo it. You might give up your previous living situation and getting it back can be challenging. Why this matters? If you are on the fence about moving into a nursing home, consider whether there are other supports that could help you stay at home longer. Modifications to your home, in-home caregivers, adult day programs, etc. Sometimes a nursing home is truly the best or only option, and there's no shame in that. But go into it with open eyes. It's rarely a casual stay. It's a profound life change that can be difficult to reverse. If you do move and find yourself unhappy, talk to your family or a social worker about your feelings sooner rather than later. There are cases where folks move back out, maybe to live with an adult child or to an assisted living that's less restrictive. But it takes planning. The sooner you voice it, the better your chances to make a change. I wish I had understood that going in is easier than getting out. It would have made me think harder about trying alternatives first, or at least preparing a backup plan. It's like jumping into a pool. Make sure you know how you'll get out on the other side. I don't say this to scare you, but to empower you to plan thoroughly. Your life is your own, and even in your 80s or 90s, you deserve to have a say in where and how you live. Just remember, once you hand over those house keys, getting them back is not impossible, but it is harder than you might think. If you've stayed with me through all these points, thank you. I know it's been a deep and sometimes emotional conversation. So what's the takeaway? It's this: be informed and true to yourself. A nursing home can offer safety, medical care, and convenience, but it also comes with sacrifices, independence, daily joys, privacy, maybe even some health and happiness. These 6 lessons were learned through real experiences. They're not meant to say, never go to a nursing home, but rather, know what to consider before you do. Now, I want to turn it over to you. Have you or a loved one faced a similar decision? Do you have experiences with nursing homes or tips on aging at home or anything in between? I encourage you to reflect and share your stories or thoughts in the comments. Your wisdom and perspective are so valuable. Whether it's a lesson you learned, something you regret, or even a positive experience you had. Let's support each other by talking about it. After all, we seniors have to look out for one another, right? Maybe you learned something new in this video, or maybe it resonated with feelings you already had. If this touched your heart or got you thinking, I'd love to hear how you feel. Please leave a comment. What's one thing you took away from these 6 points? Or is there something you would add from your own life? By sharing, you might help someone else who's reading and worrying about the same issues. Before we go, I want to gently invite you to join our community. If you found this discussion helpful, please give this video a thumbs up so more people can find it. Consider subscribing to our channel for more honest, caring conversations about aging and living life to the fullest at every stage. And if you know someone, a friend, a parent, anyone who might benefit from hearing this, please share this video with them. Sometimes one conversation can change a mind or a life. Thank you for spending your time with me today. Remember, getting older is a journey we're all on, and it's better when we navigate it together. Every year, every day is precious. Take care of yourself, cherish your freedom and loved ones, and never be afraid to ask questions and make the choice that's right for you. You've earned that right over a lifetime. Stay safe, stay hopeful, and stay connected. See you in the next video. Take care and bye for now.